The internal combustion engine. Don't you just hate it? I can't wait for net zero and 2030. I'm hot for the electric cars right now, not just for the inconvenience and the long line for the express 15-minute supercharge that shortens your battery life so your car is worthless a year and a half earlier than it would have been. That's just the icing on the cake. What I like is that an electric car helps save the planet by transferring even more industrial power to China, which already has 80% of the lithium battery market. But if you and your Auntie Mabel switch to an electric car, we can easily do our bit and get Peking's market share up to 87%, 93%. And that will give them even more money to torture Uyghurs or to buy up Commonwealth islands and get them to depose the monarchy so that the Prince of Wales will be able to spend more time in the UK hectoring you about the evils of your carbon footprint. Are you into child slavery? Child slavery. I love it. Can't get enough. Nothing says you take the environment seriously than indicating your support for child slavery by buying an electric car. The lithium battery needs cobalt, and 70% of cobalt comes from the Congo, where tens of thousands of children as young as 6 labor in the cobalt mines for less than $2 a day so that you can drive around in your fully loaded Vauxhall Virtue signaler. By providing jobs for Congolese moppets in the cobalt mines, you're doing your bit not just for the Central African economy, but for the planet. Because if they're in the mine all day long, they won't be able to come to Highgate to be your au pair and acquire a first world carbon footprint. So well done you. Alexandra Marshall is the editor of The Spectator's Aussie Outpost, and she knows a planet-saving innovation when she sees one. Honestly, Alexandra, how come this can be seriously passed off as environmentally friendly?
Okay, to be fair, when the Tesla cars first came out, I thought they were fun. They were like bad boys. They're great for a little spin, but you don't want to take them home. Now, the whole thing with batteries and lithium is that we've got solar panels and wind turbines and all these battery farms, and they need lithium. They're lithium hungry. And then they've gone, let's have an electric car push as well. And there wasn't enough lithium for any of these technologies alone, let alone some kind of lithium arms race in order to get them both there together. Now, from the tech industry, lithium is in all your computers and all your batteries and televisions and electronics networks. And so as we have this Save the Planet initiative pushing electric vehicles, we are going to make all of our other technology massively more expensive than technology that we need. I don't know how many of your viewers remember, but in the 90s, they had a lithium freakout when they tried to start recycling it because they realized it's vanishingly rare. And whenever you talk to an environmentalist, they say, oh, well, there's plenty of lithium in the crust. You're going, yes, most of the lithium that they quote in their figures is either too deep to get to or too dispersed. So you'd have to pretty much shove the earth through a filter if you want to get it, which is not a great idea.
Right.
And of course, the fallback is let's just mine the oceans. And at what point do you say we are destroying the oceans and destroying the planet just so that we can build wind turbines and drive electric vehicles? I think they might have defeated their point.
So a herd of Holstein cattle breaking wind in some pasture is a threat to the planet, but actually overturning, digging up more and more and more of the planet to get at this lithium, that's entirely environmental. None of it, I know a lot of people in the environmental thing live in a sort of fluffy bunny world of delusion, but they must grasp the essentials of this, mustn't they?
Well, lithium mining is a horrific process. It involves sulfuric acid. It creates toxic sludge. It's awful. This is why China does most of the lithium mining, because nobody else's environmental laws will let them do it. I mean, America closed their lithium mines. The people who have got the most lithium is actually South America. But of course, who's buying up South American lithium mines? China. And we have lithium as well.
Right.
But again, nobody wants to really mine it here because it's such a filthy process. It is not environmentally friendly. I will never understand why so many environmentalists are determined to save the planet whilst simultaneously destroying every asset they have and ruining the future of civilization by absorbing and wasting the minerals that we actually need for technology.
I would have thought that in your country they would be particularly antipathetic about these electric cars and their limitations, because one of the beautiful things about Australia, I gave a talk in Cloncurry, which is no disrespect to any Australians, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And so when you leave there, whichever direction you go in, you're driving for hundreds of miles. How can it be practical to put charging stations every 20 minutes on the road through the outback? That's never going to work, is it?
Well, first of all, it's the middle of bloody nowhere, which is how Australians would refer to it. But I don't even have a tarred road, okay, Mark? So we live on a gravel road. We don't even have three-phase power because they can't get their electricity sorted out. So not only can we not drive our electric vehicles, we couldn't charge them if we wanted to. If we tried plugging them in, it'd take millions of years. So if we want to have electric vehicles, our lovely new Prime Minister, who's just going to start using taxpayer money to force this transition, might want to think about fixing the energy market, of which, by the way, you might have noticed in Australia, we don't have enough energy as it is. So I can't wait for millions of e-cars to plug in the afternoon, crash the entire grid, and watch our Prime Minister and his ministers squirm in the dark ages that they've created.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's why their plan is that this is not actually a transition away from one technology to another, but I think they're transitioning us out of individual means of transportation. So we're all going to be standing out in the rain waiting for the number 37 bus, which will be electric and be recharging itself somewhere out in the outback.